Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. My name is Rakma Otu. We are the group 4 reporters. Gender sensitivity. By definition, it refers to the process by which the children are made aware of how gender plays a role in life through their treatment of others. It manifests itself in recognizing privilege and discrimination around gender, especially women. Gender sensitivity training is used to educate the impressionable minds to be more aware and sensitive to gender with regard to all aspects of their lives. So, ang gender sensitivity ay ang proseso kung saan tinuturuan ng mga bata na maunawaan kung paano nakakapekto ang kasarian sa buhay nila at sa kanilang pagtrato sa iba. Ito ay nagpapakita sa pagkilala sa mga pribilehiyo at diskriminasyong kaugnay ng kasarian, lalo na para sa mga kababaihan. Ang pagsasanay sa gender sensitivity ay ginagamit upang turuan ang mga kabataan na maging mas maalam at sensitibo sa kasarian sa lahat ng aspekto ng kanilang buhay. Gender sensitivity at home. Number 1. Breaking stereotypes including your own. Social conditioning has a major role to play in stereotyping gender construct and indoctrinating the minds of children in the name of acceptable behavior from a very young age. Researchers in fact state that children tend to adopt gender stereotypes by the age of 3, limiting their word to string 4 and expand for boys by the age of 10. So it is important to initiate conversation on gender roles from early on and challenge the stereotypes attached to gender at home and society outside. So ang halimbawa nito ay ang pagtuturo sa mga bata na walang anumang gawa ay maaaring iserba lamang para sa mga lalaki o mga babae. Maaaring ipakita sa kanila na ang pag-aalaga ng tahanan ay maaaring gawin ng parehong lalaki at babae. At ang mga pribadong interes at mga pangarap ay hindi dapat limitado sa kanilang kasarian. Sa mga pamamagitan ng ganitong mga halimbawa, masusugpo ang mga stereotyping nagalayon sa mga sarian at hinihikayat ang mas malayang pag-iisip hinggil dito. Number 2. Assign the role of caregivers to boys from an early age. Women globally perform more than twice the unpaid care work at home than men. This deprives young girls and women not just of equal opportunities for education and formal paid work but also enough time to rest and rejuvenate themselves. Instead, equally dividing the house chores and care work between males and females must be the first step toward achieving gender equality. Delegate the housework and caregiving role to boys from a very early age along with girls. Sa buong mundo, mas marami ang trabaho ng babae sa bahay kaysa mga lalaki. So, para ma-achieve yung gender equality is nagsisimula ito sa bahay. So, for example, ang unang hakbang para ma-achieve natin yung equal is ang paghahati ng mga gawain ng lalaki at babae sa isang bahay. So, halimbawa, maaari natin turuan ang mga batang lalaki na magluto, maglinis at mag-alaga ng mga kapatid o nakakabatang kasamahan sa tahanan. So, ganitong paraan, natuturuan natin sila na ang responsibilidad sa bahay ay hindi lamang para sa mga babae at ito ay dapat na iniambag ng lahat. Anuman ang kanilang kasarian, ito ay isang paraan upang mapanatili ang kasarian na pantay-pantay at magkaroon ng mas makatarungan sa lipunan. Number 3. Educate them about gender and respect the opposite sex. Educating individuals about gender and fostering respect for the opposite sex involves providing knowledge and understanding of the concept of gender and promoting attitude and behaviors that treat individuals of all genders with fairness, dignity, and equality. Ang edukasyon tungkol sa kasarian ay isang mahalagang bahagi ng pagpapalaganap ng kaalaman at pag-unawa hinggil sa mga kasarian at ng pagtuturo ng tamang paggalan at pagkikitungo sa mga tao na may magkaibang kasarian. Halimbawa, maaari itong isakatuparan sa pamamagitan ng pag-organisa ng mga seminar o pagtalakay hinggil sa mga isyu ng kasarian tulad ng gender equality, gender identity, at gender expression.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. I am Yasmin Mamadra and my topic is workplace. In the field of gender and development, the workplace is a critical focus area for analyzing gender dynamics. This involves examining how gender influence roles, responsibilities, and opportunities within work settings. It encompasses issues like pay equity, career advancement, workplace discrimination, and the impact of policies on creating inclusive, gender-sensitive work environments. The goal is to address and rectify gender-based disparities in the workplace. So, sa gender and development, ang workplace ay nakafocus sa lugar para sa pagsusuri ng mga kasarian. Kabilang dito ang pagsusuri kung paano naiimpluwensyahan ng kasarian ang mga tungkulin, responsibilidad at pagkakataon nito. Halimbawa nito kapag ikaw ay nagtatrabaho sa isang company, kapag hindi pantay ang sweldo ng babae at lalaki. So, ang layunin ng workplace ay tugunan at itama ang pagkakaiba batay sa kasarian, sa lugar at trabaho. So, meron tayong 8 uri ng workplace. So, ang una ay roles and responsibilities. Analyzing gender dynamics in the workplace involves understanding how traditional gender roles might shape expectation regarding job responsibilities. Scrutiny helps identify instances where certain tasks or positions are stereotypically associated with a particular gender. So, ang roles and responsibilities ay tumutukoy sa kung ano yung traditional na pagkakakilanlan ng ibang tao. Halimbawa nito kapag nasa trabaho, ang lalaki ay patuloy pa rin na mas mataas yung sweldo kaysa sa babae. Nagpapahiwatig ito na mas angat pa rin yung lalaki kaysa sa babae. Number 2, opportunities. Opportunities, examining gender in the context of opportunities, involves looking at access to various roles, projects, and career paths. This includes assessing whether individual or different genders have equal chance for professional growth and development. Equity. Pay equity. Pay equity addresses the issue of ensuring that individuals receive equal pay for equal work, regardless of their gender. Analyzing pay disparities helps uncover and rectify instances where gender influences salary discrepancies. So, ang opportunities ay ang pantay-pantay na pagbibigay ng karapatan or projects or trabaho sa kababaihan at kalalakihan. So, ang pay equity naman ay ang pantay-pantay na pagbibigay ng sweldo, trabaho sa kahit anong kasarian. Kumbaga, pantay-pantay yung pagtrato sa kanila. Career advancement. Career advancement, this aspect focuses on understanding how gender can impact career progression. It involves examining factors such as promotion, leadership, opportunities, and access to mentorship or networking, aiming to ensure that advancement is based on merit rather than gender. Next is workplace discrimination. Gender-based discrimination in the workplace can manifest in various forms, including biased treatment, harassment, or inclusion. Analyzing these dynamics helps develop strategies and policies to create a more inclusive and respectful work environment. So, ang diskriminasyon sa lugar ng trabaho. So, batay sa kasarian ay nagsasangkot ng hindi patas na pagtrato, panligalig o pagbubukod sa trabaho. Halimbawa, kung ang mga babaeng empleyado ay regular na nahaharap sa dismissive na saloobin or pinapalampas pinapalampas para sa mga pagkakataon dahil lamang sa kanilang kasarian. Ito ay nag-highlight ng isang anyo ng diskriminasyon nakabatay sa kasarian na kailangang tugunan. Impact of policies. Evaluating the effectiveness of existing policies or implementing new ones in crucial. Policies that promote inclusivity, prevent discrimination, and support work-life balance. Contribute to creating a workplace that is sensitive to gender-related issues. So, ang impact of policies ay nangangahulugan ng pagsusuri kung gaano kahusay na sinusuportahan ng mga panuntunan sa trabaho ang pagiging patas at mga alalahaning nauugnay sa kasarian. Halimbawa, kung ang isang kumpanya ay nagpasimula ng isang flexible na patakaran sa trabaho na tumutulong sa mga lalaki at babae na balansehin ang trabaho at mga responsibilidad sa pamilya. Nagpapakita ito ng positibong epekto sa kasanayang sensitibo sa kasarian. Creating inclusive and gender-sensitive work environments. This involved fostering a culture that acknowledges and values diversity. It includes initiatives such as training programs, awareness campaign, and support network to ensure that the workplace is conducive to the success and well-being of individuals of all genders. So, isa sa halimbawa nito ay ang pagpapatupad ng mga sesyon ng pagsasanay sa pagkapantay-pantay ng kasarian, pagpapatakbo ng mga kampanya, at pagtatag ng mga network ng suporta at nagpapakita ng isang pangako na gawing suportado at matagumpay ang lugar ng trabaho para sa lahat o anumang kasarian. So, ang last ay goal of addressing disparities. Ultimately, the overarching goal is to rectify gender-based disparities in the workplace. This goes beyond just acknowledge differences. It involves actively working towards creating an environment where everyone, regardless of gender, has equal opportunities, recognition, and support for their professional endeavors.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu and good day everyone, especially to you ma'am. My name is Narhaya A. Salik. Today I will discuss about mass media. What is mass media? It is a message created by a person or a group of people sent through a transmitting device, a medium to a large audience or market. Mass media is communication that reaches and influences a large number of people. So, ang mass media is isang mensahe nilikha or ginawa ng isang tao o isang grupo ng mga tao na pinapadala sa pamamagitan ng isang transmitting device or sa isang malaking audience o market. Mass media controls our lives more than ever before. Aristotle said, media is the means of catharsis and is mass for normal living. Types of mass media: print media, electronic media, interactive media, radio, TV, newspapers and large circulation magazine, billboards, people, and internet. To inform, information is most important function. The power of mass media to inform is almost credible. So, alam naman natin na ang mass media ay importante because kung walang mass media, hindi natin malalam to how to communicate kung paano makipag-ugnayan, lalo na pag nasa malayong lugar ka. So importante, malaking tulong ang social media or internet para makipag-socialize or makipag-communicate ka sa isang tao, lalo na pag nasa malayo siya. Kumbaga, yun nga, information is a pinakamahalagang function. Ang information is pinakamalaking function ng mass media. people read newspaper to know about what, when, where, who, why, and how the things are happening pertaining to personalities or institutions. So, ang mga tao ay nagbabasa ng mga information about newspaper, kung ano yung nagpapahayag sa kung ano man yung laman ng newspaper, kung ano bang tungkol or kung ano, kailan or saan or sino or paano ang mga bagay na nangyayari na may kinalaman sa mga personalidad na institution. It brings about greater awareness among the masses about men and materials. So, nagdudulot ito ng higit na kamalayan ng masa tungkol sa kalalakihan at materyales. Gaya ng sinabi ko, ang mass media ay nagbibigay ito o nagdudulot ito ng mga kaalaman about sa mga nangyayari sa mundo. To educate, the mass media educates people by giving information about food, health, housing, sanitation, employment, agriculture, industry, environment, science, technology, modernization, etc. So, ang mass media daw ay nagtuturo sa mga tao sa pamamagitan ng pagbibigay ng information about sa mga foods, kalusugan, or mga dun sa mga nabanggit ko like environment, technology, modernization. So, radio is very useful source of information and education. So, alam naman natin na ang radio ay ginagamit, halos lahat ginagamit ng mga tao to source of information at nakakakuha tayo ng knowledge. Kasi kung walang radio, so hindi natin malalaman or hindi natin mababalitaan yung mga pangyayari about sa nangyayari dito sa ating mundo, both in urban and rural areas in developing countries. The print media predominant source of education, example like newspaper, journals, or etc. So, ang sabi daw dito is, ang print media daw ay pangunahing pinagmulan ng edukasyon. To entertain, mass media also entertains people. Film, television, radio are increasingly subjected to commercialization via entertainment. Television is nation's #1 entertainment medium, but film and radio are not far behind. So, inuulit ko, gaya ng sabi ko is, ang mass media, ano yan siya, yung pagbabalita na malawak na saklaw na makikita at maririnig sa TV, radio, social media at iba pa. Kumbaga kahit saan pwede ito kung merong mahilig ng balita sa radio, merong media yan. So kung merong mahilig manood ng balita sa TV, merong media yan. So lahat kahit saan may media at araw-araw na itong bahagi ng actually, lahat tayo is alam naman natin na bahagi na ito siya ng ating buhay. Kasi ito na yung mga importante na halos sa ayon natin. Parang part na ito sa atin, part na ito ng buhay natin. Itong social media. Kasi syempre alam naman natin na kung wala ito, hindi natin malalaman yung kung mayroon tayong gustong alamin, hindi natin ito malalaman kung wala si media. Yun lamang po, and I thank you.
Hi everyone. So let's talk about the gender sensitivity with fears. By the time children are about 3 years old, they have already begun to form their gender identity. So in other words, they are aware of the fact that they are boys or girls, and that there are certain behavior, activities, toys, and interests that are played with more than often by boys and girls. So gender differences in children behavior is intellectual pattern and also began to become apparently by this age. For instance, boys are more active, physical, and play in a larger space than girls. In contrast, girls are more compliant, prosocial, and play closer to adults than boys. One important way in which children learn about gender rules is develop gender type behavior and attitudes is through their interaction with peers. In a simple way, children are about 3 years old above, they already began to identify their gender roles. So we all know that in our culture, um, mas pinapagawa yung mga mabibigat na trabaho sa mga lalaki. And other side, yung mga babae naman is pinapagawa sa kanila yung hindi gaano mabibigat na trabaho. So this kind of gender rules is nagsisimula ito sa ating naturally nagsisimula ito sa ating bahay or at home, di ba? So when it comes to fears, most probably yung mga bata, kumbaga kung ano yung interaction nila sa isang bagay is doon nila nakikita kung anong gender meron sila. Doon start kung anong gender identity meron sila. It because of interaction in other company. So pag yung mga kabataan, like yung mga boys, may boys kasi na ang kanyang nakakasalamuhan niya is yung mga kaedad niya na mga babae. Sometimes those behavior are may possibility na yun ay ma-adapt nila or ma-adapt it because of interaction with fears na tinatawag. From an early age, children are interested in the responsive to their fears. So, and they form meaningful relationship with them. As a children, spend more time interacting with their fears. So, they have opportunities to socialize one another by encouraging or discouraging particular behaviors. So, by modeling or by creating norms that guide children's behavior, gender is a silent to young children's own identities and perception of other, and they socialize each other's gender's behavior. This might happen directly. For example, one child might tell another child that a particular activity is appropriate for one gender or the other. So, dolls are for girls or no voice allowed in our fort. So, it can happen indirectly. For example, the more time children spend time with peers, the more similar they become to one another in interest, behavior, and interaction styles. It means yung mga kabataan ay madalas nabubuhos nila yung oras nila sa kapwa nila kabataan. So when it comes to socializing in other gender is may possible na yung behavior meron yung kanilang nakakasalamuha ay pwedeng ma-adapt nung kanilang kaibigan. So based doon sa kanilang mga parents, kasi may mga kabataan kasi na iba-iba kung anong pangangaral meron sila, kung ano yung tinuturo sa kanila na gawain ng isang babae is madalas is yun din yung na-apply nila when it comes to socializing in other groups or in a group peers. So in our culture, like kung sa kultura ng isang bata na yung lalaki ay dapat ay madalas gumawa ng mga mabibigat na trabaho, may possible na yung kanyang kaibigan is ma-adapt din nung kanyang kaibigan kung ano yung kultura meron sila. So it because of that fears na sinasabi. So may mga iba naman na kung yung babae naman is madalas siya makipag-interact sa mga lalaki or boys. So may possible din na yung behavior ng mga boys is ma-adapt nung babae. So doon nag-i-start yung ating gender roles. Doon siya na-identify kung ano yung nagiging possible outcome nung yung kasarian.